sectors where those things are far from the norm. What have been some of the challenges that you experienced along the way? And did those challenges lead you to believe in the role of education?
As far as the Al-Sharabi group is concerned, the second generation is well in place. The succession has already taken place, and my role is that of a mentor, a consultant, or a guide, or maybe a father figure. So I had a lot of time on my hand. I took up the chairmanship of the Indian High School, 15,000 kids outside in school. Fee is 400 dirhams per month for outside in school. When I took over the chairmanship, I got a feeling that it's a non-profit school. We had a surplus, but it had a lot of compassion, but it lacked corporate culture. When I say it lacked corporate culture, it lacked customer service. The non-profit organizations, they have a lot of compassion. For-profit organization, they know what customer service is. If they lose one student, they lose a client. So I thought, let me blend the corporate culture with compassion. And I bought a land bank to build about 3-4 schools. At the same time, I bought a big piece of land to build the Arcadia House, which is the accommodation for teachers. Is it here? No, it's not there. It was supposed to be an Arcadia, this thing. Okay, it's not there. So, 5 minutes away in Jumeirah Village Triangle, where I'm building the junior school and the senior school, I bought a land to build a 5-star facility for teachers. That's there.
There we are, yes.
There we are here.
Yeah,
Showing up. Now, making a building at the same time you make a school. My friends tell me your ROI will be hardly anything. Return on investment. But I knew what I'm doing. Now, building a facility for teachers nearby, and if there are happy teachers, there will be a happy school. They will be more productive. They can walk down on a good day. Now, this is compassion. But the teachers' quarters, the Arcadia House, being 5 minutes away, and productivity, that is logistics and productivity, that is corporate culture. So it's a blend of corporate culture, which is productivity and logistics, and compassion, where the teachers are happy.
So how do you see, what gave you the taste for education? Clearly, when you were chairman of the Indian school, something about the education women obviously struck a chord, something appealed to you. Is it because you see it as building social mobility and independence of knowledge? How do you see the role of education?
I think the shortest cut to happiness is giving. And there's no better way to give than education. And during my chairmanship, I was assigned to build a new school, which I built for the Indian High School. And the Board of Trustees told me that you're not building a school, you're building a place of worship. Now, in a school, the most dear thing to all of you, is what? What is the most dear thing to all of you?
Children.
So you are giving your kids to the school. They spend more time in the school than with the parents. That is trust. You are trusting the school. And if we don't take care, if the school doesn't take care of your kids the way they should, educate them, look after them, etc., etc., that is breach of trust. So I thought it was a path to happiness. Sometimes I used to go to the Indian school and I used to ask the CEO, he used to ask me, sir, can I do anything for you? Why have you come? I said, no, I'm just feeling happy. So I think it's the shortest cut to happiness, plus with the corporate culture of the Al-Sharawi group, where we have a strong IT team, 75 software engineers. I thought I could mobilize this into the school. That way, there'll also be a blend of technology and face-to-face learning. You cannot live without face-to-face learning. At the same time, you cannot live without technology.
Absolutely. So Mohan, when you were building the Al-Sharawi book, you obviously went through every stage from that micro to small to medium to enterprise level to being a large corporation. What knowledge did this give you of the lack of skills in the SME space? What skills do you think are particularly lacking? When employees come to you, or when you're working with suppliers, third-party suppliers and so on, what do you see as the skill shortage here in the region? What's lacking?
I feel, generally what you are trying to ask is what is lacking or what are the challenges for SME companies?
Well said. Well said.
I said, what are the challenges for SME companies? I feel that since morning everybody has been talking about change. The only thing constant is change. We have been hearing all the speakers. But I think the biggest challenge is financing change. Where you can foresee change. Change is there every day. I mean, every day the hardware is getting faster and the software is getting more intelligent. That is very basic. That everybody knows, even a child knows. But how do you finance that change? That is the real challenge. If you're not able to finance change, if you're not able to change, you go. If you're not able to grow, you go. Since 1983 till today, 60% of the companies on the corporates on the S&P have been acquired. Why? Because they could not grow. Why? Because they could not change.
Yeah, and for instance, if we look at the official statistics from the official receivers office in the UK, for example, the reason why 40% of businesses go bust is because they've fallen behind the times. Yes. They have products that no one wants anymore.
Yes, you are absolutely right. Continuous training. I have my principal sitting here, Mr. Graham Bean, and Catherine and Stephanie, and they're all experienced from the best schools in UK, New Zealand, all over. But as we speak, my school is opening in the year 2016, September. We all are into training, including me. I'm 75 years old, but still I want to learn. So if you don't want to learn, if you don't want to change, you're out.
But something that I find fascinating with you, Ramon, is that you're a very successful business entrepreneur. One of the most successful in the country in many ways, in very challenging sectors. And here you are investing in primary and secondary education. What about business education? What about opening a business college? What about opening a new wing of an established MBA school or something? Does that interest you? Because it appears not to. It appears not to be of interest.
Well, anything to do with education is interesting. But once you go into the higher education, then you have online learning. MBAs nowadays, MBAs are being offered online by London Business School in Dubai.
Yes.
So you have a lot of well-established players already trying to creep in, and me at the age of 75, taking them on is not very wise.
Okay, but on the other hand, you are just going to be devil's advocate here for me, because you're making very long-term investments here in primary and secondary education, and as you say, financial people have advised you against this. They say, well,
yes,
there's not much return in this moment, and you're
saying, well, absolutely right.
And so also, we look at the geopolitical the Emirates. You know, that we haven't got far to go to find, you know, Yemen in a state of crisis, Syria, you know, it's a complete mess. The old export markets have collapsed, Iraq and so on and so on. So we see a very volatile geopolitical context, but yet still you feel very prepared to invest in the future of the Emirates and make long-term commitments.
Yes, I'm absolutely positive on Dubai. 100% positive on Dubai. Dubai, I didn't make some notes on Dubai. Dubai is the base for rest, recreation, and entertainment for about 1.5 billion people within 3 hours flight.
Absolutely.
Dubai is the education hub for the entire GCC, even Russia. There are so many Russian students in Dubai. Dubai has is the place for the rich and the famous. Perfect place for tax planning. One thing you all should understand, Dubai is not a country. Dubai is a city. And Dubai cannot accommodate the world. Everybody wants to come to Dubai. I see in the next 8 to 10 years, there'll be no place in Dubai. The way the population of Dubai is increasing. When I came to Dubai in 1967, the population was 15,000. I mean, if you would be standing here, you would be kidnapped. So Dubai, I believe in Dubai. We have a vertical view on Dubai as Al-Sharawi. Instability in the neighboring country. I should not be saying this. I don't want to say this. I wish them good luck, but it's a positive for Dubai. And it's not a negative for Dubai. I've seen Kuwait. I've seen the Iraq-Iran war. I've seen Kuwait being swallowed by Iraq. I mean, what is Yemen crisis compared to Kuwait crisis? Nothing. The whole of Kuwait was gone.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen oil prices fall to $10. So $50 is still good. What's wrong with $50?
So you think that even in a climate where...
$10.
Yeah.
$10. I'll give you a short story about the Al-Sharawi group. Sorry, I'll just go to the this is what I wanted to share with you. Al-Sharawi group went through a major crisis starting in 1980. There was an outbreak of Iraq-Iran war. And you know what happened? The first bomb of the war fell on my side, on our side. 10 people died, 5,000 people refused to work, and they wanted to go back home. So 5,000 people had to go back home. 1981, 6 ships loaded with cement are still stuck near Basra, and they have become stone. And you know what happens when all these things happen? Banks, sorry my friend, they stopped financing me. They wanted their money back. How do I give you my money back? My site is being bombed, my ships are stuck, and you want money back. Al-Sharawi equity was wiped out. Unfortunately, we were in oil-producing countries. The oil prices, I told you, crashed to $10. The entire Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, they defaulted. We had an outstanding on Nigeria. They said, we'll pay you by the year 2020. And they gave us a promissory note. But they are being honored, still they are paying, still we are receiving the money. So this is exactly what happened. We were negative net worth. It's a polite way of saying bankrupt. I had 2 choices. Either to leave town, the easy way out, run away, bhag jao, or stay and face the music. I decided to stay. Because one thing you all should realize, that losing money is not a crime. Don't be afraid of failure. If you all just want to succeed, you will never succeed if you are afraid of failure. So losing money is not a crime. And don't give blank posted checks to the banks when you borrow. Never do that. Never do that. Today, I could be talking for hours. I don't have that much time. Ron is waiting to take over. Today, Al-Shirawi Group has turned, banks have been paid off. Succession plan is in place. Absolutely, we are absolutely transparent. We don't give personal guarantees, we don't give checks. We are absolutely transparent to the extent transparency brings in productivity. When you have nothing to hide, the entire Al-Shirawi Group with 40 companies and 8,500 employees, in the head office, we have only six accountants. 6. Why? Because we have nothing to hide. Everything is online. We have created a portal where banks are given a password and they access the portal to get whatever information they want. They don't phone us. So we don't need the infrastructure. We don't need the infrastructure. Now all these failures, I've learned a lot. I think the reason for failures I could have avoided. I think we were highly leveraged. I was a little greedy. Greed, you know what happens then? So don't be greedy. Today we have 150 MBAs, 400 engineers, 20 CAs, 20 CPAs, and our staff turnover is 5%. Give me a big round of applause. Come on. Yeah.
So, how would you describe the value of education and skills training to a growing business?
Education is a passion for me. So when I talk about education, when I talk with my team, they can realize that I'm passionate. I don't cut corners. When it comes to education, you have to chase rabbit. If you chase money and education, money will elude you. You cannot bluff parents. The mother is the most intelligent customer. She knows what is good for her child. You cannot fool her.
And of course, we started off today, right at the beginning of today, by saying that to build a business, you have to do the right thing.
Yes.
It's not enough to make a few cosmetic changes. It's not enough to be short-termist and say, this will get me a bit more finance from the bank. You have to do the right thing. Otherwise, you can't achieve the growth potential.
You're right. All the speakers have been saying that you have to do the right thing. But I think you have to learn how to manage failures. Not reinventing success or this thing. If you don't know how to manage failures, if you don't know how to manage a crisis, there will be crisis. I mean, in the last 49 years, I have seen Dubai go down at least 7 times. And the last crisis in 2009 was not the last one, but we were prepared for it. It was fun. When the crisis hit 2008, 2009, I was called back from retirement by the second generation. They said, we need you. I said, if there's a crisis every 5 years, you need me every 5 years. It's okay. And we just sailed through, and today we are much stronger than pre-crisis.
And if we could just end on what I think is a remarkable statistic about Al-Shirawi, how many people do you employ every month? I know you have a remarkable statistic about how many new entrants come to your business every month.
Well, we were, a few years back, our strength was about 6,000. Today it's 8,500 and growing. Some people say business is not too good in Dubai. It's excellent. We keep growing all the time. And as I told you, if you don't grow, you go. Very simple. If you don't change, you go.
So let's, as it were, think of that moving forward. If you don't grow, you go. Many thanks. It's been wonderful listening to you. And I think you love the word education. You are education to all of us.
Yes, I thank you very much for that. It's a very honorable compliment. And how to be in touch? Yeah, I mean, for the new enterprises, if you all want to be successful in Dubai, follow the model of CPI. high value addition.
We try.
They have done a good job over the last few years, and I think they've done an excellent job. You are a good example to all the SMEs.
I think Mohan Darani is an inspiration to all of us, and in the same way as Rizwan Sajjad, he's come from humble beginnings.